There's Dan, first one in, waiting for me. Look at you. How are we doing tonight? Make a wee bit of space here. Give everybody a minute to join in on the fun tonight. I mean, tonight's a whole lot of soldering, so I don't know how much fun that's going to be, but, you know, when you're working on a printer this big, it might be a little fun. These away now. Here. Knife good. All right, there. This away. Today has been a crazy day. I have not had much time to clean up or prep, so my apologies in advance for that. But I did do a little bit of work today. Got some stuff done. Not a lot. A little bit, though. A little bit. And I gotta move. I was actually soldering on the floor. Now we're gonna solder up on the table, I think. Need to make some space. Non-fam. Eccentric nut. That's fun. Aaron, there he is. How is everybody doing? I hope well tonight. Because tonight I'm working on LEDs. Super duper fun. Lots of soldering, lots of planning. Actually need to, I'm a little worried about the draw for all of these. I've seen people put dual power supplies in the BLV MGN cubes. I was not planning on it, but I am not 100% sure that the printer will support all of these LEDs online at the same time. And if it doesn't, then I'm gonna need to put in a separate 12-volt power supply in order to run all of these. Either that being A, or B, I'm not sure that the step-down converters that I have will be able to supply enough amperage for all of these, because I believe they are 3.3 amp. Let me pull one out here real quick. Pretty sure they're 3.3 amps. And the amount of LEDs I'm putting on here might not be able to do that. Let's Google one of these real quick. This is the LM2596. Or these are just straight 3 amps, maybe. Yep, 3 amps. I have no idea how much all these LEDs are gonna pull. Let's see what one set does. Let's see, where are we gonna do this at? You guys can't see my bench power supply. I'm just gonna see how much one set of these pulls. Let's see, total positive is that way. So 12 volts, 0.3 amps. We'll call it 0.4 to round up. Oh, God, that's bright. So 0.4, 8, 1.6 amps for these. I guess it could do it. I'm only at half for just the LEDs up top. So these are the ones I'm using. Where are we at? DSLR. Pull this down a little bit. Let's lighten it up. Let's come in. So these are the brackets I'm using. So these print up on their end like that. And they have enough to fit 3 LED strips in here. If I can be the poster child of print one thing, test it, and see if it works, I wish I could be, but I am today. Because my LED strips don't quite fit in here right. I have to kind of like shove them in and bend the sides a little bit. and then I went ahead and put a little bit of hot glue on them in order to keep them in place, because they do pop out, which is no bueno. But you can see here, I kind of ran the wires a weird way because of the way the cover goes over these. These do get a diffuser put on them, but I have these two linked together just in the middle. Doesn't matter where on these LEDs because these are just straight white. There's no data I need to worry about moving along. So as long as they have power, it's good. And then I have these outer two connected because this one's going to be connected here in the middle to go up to the next one. Power is going to come in here from the front set. So there's going to be 4 of these, 2 on each side, and they're angled like this. So this is pointing straight, and this is going to go down onto the print. I'm going to have 4 of these on there. And then on the front of the printer, there's going to be 2 of them angled like this, facing in. I guess they'll be kind of higher on the inside, flooding in to get front white light. So that'll all be good. The prints that I had for these, though, epically failed. I guess not epically, just tragically failed, I guess is the word. On the Mark 3S, and they should have been done for tonight, but they're not. But here they are. So again, these would just like mount to the side, and you'd have that pushing off. These are 205 millimeters in length, which means I can get 4 segments of my LEDs on here. So 2 sets of 4 is what we're doing on there. But yeah, so the top, the bottom, I guess there was an under extruded layer here in the PETG, and that broke off eventually once it got all the way up to here, and it just kind of fell over. I was like, oh no. So like it was close, but not quite. I'm going to try printing them one at a time now. I was trying to hurry up and get this done for tonight's video, or tonight's stream. That didn't work out. So these are now trash. Away those go. But these ones did work out. They've got a little bit more meat on them to be able to hold for that upright. Now the diffusers are just some clear PLA, and they can slide on, or they just snap right on there. And there is the diffused light in there. If this is not diffused enough, I might go ahead and just slip in the side here. See, there's an opening there. I might just go ahead and slip a piece of like parchment paper, white parchment paper, or something like that. I think we only have brown right now. I'll have my wife order some white parchment paper and put a little bit in there in the front there, and that will give me a little more diffusion if all of these LEDs ends up being too bright. So kind of can see how that goes. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how they came out. This was not my design. I found these on Thingiverse. When I get done with the stream, I'll make sure to link these down below. You guys can check them out. So what I'm doing right now is just getting these different arrays ready. And this is the first one that I finished. I did dab a little bit of hot glue in here just to make sure everything stays where it's supposed to go. I don't want any of these LEDs falling out because they are falling out of this other one that I have here, which I have to bring all this stuff. Well, here's one here that I was working on. I didn't finish yet. But here's this one. So here's this one here. And see, I have to kind of like shove these into their slots. Otherwise, they just pop right out. And even that, they still pop right out. So there's that. Aaron's asking if they're dimmable. No, but I do have this adjustable voltage step down converter. So I can bring in my 24 volts and I can step it down with these two, positive and minus, on whatever voltage I want to come out of it. I was using this on my DIY LED panel that I made like 2 years ago, and I took this off of there. So I could use this, but it's not really like easy to access this. Like I don't really have any place on the printer to put this. Because I mean, yes, LEDs are dimmable just because all you do is lower the voltage and you'll get a dimmer light. But I'm also hoping that I'm going to probably have to push more than 12 volts through all of these in order to light them all, is another thing. I also don't know if my switch is going to be rated for this many LEDs. These are things that I did not think about until right now. Let me find where all of those switches went. I don't remember where I put them for the build tonight. Not in there, not down there. I had a whole bag of them here. Where's to put all of those switches? Come on. Surprised is one of those times I blame my kids because I don't know where they are. They have been taking stuff out of the office because, hey, it's fun to do that. Let's make Dad angry. Oh, wait, here they are. Yeah, they're in here. So, yeah, these are the 12-volt ones. Yeah, so I have a 12-volt little power push button LED. It does work on LEDs, Aaron, because again, this is what I would, if my light was too bright, I would just turn down the voltage a little bit or turn it up. That had a lot of LEDs on it though, so I was running it at like 16 volts in order to not have any reduction in light throughout the LED array. Because they were all wired in parallel, I think. No, they were in series, something like that. I don't know. They were wired. It didn't work. I had to put more juice to them, so be it. But yeah, so these 16 millimeter push button LEDs, so this one's going to be blue, they fit right here into the front of the BLV. There are 3 mounts here for that. So number one is figuring out how in the world to wire these up, because I never remember. I have to always look up a drawing. And wiring these up to the... So it's going to be power out of the 24-volt power supply into a step-down converter, like this one right here. This is just a very small, simple step-down converter. You set it with the potentiometer right here. So you have your in voltage coming in, which is anywhere from 5 to 48, something like that. 5 to 50 volts. Yeah, 50 volts. And you can output anything from 5 to 36 volts. Written on there. You can't read that. Anyways, so you put it in here, you put your meter onto this side, adjust your potentiometer for what you want to come out, and then hook in your side. So it's going to go from the step down, from the power supply to the step down to the switch, and then the switch up to the LEDs. And again, how I'm going to wire those, I don't frankly know yet. I think I'm having both here, these two connect to these two to then come together and then run one wire up to the front to where the switch is at. So I think tonight the whole thing is going to be for me just getting these arrays wired up with LEDs on them. And then once I have that all done, then I can figure out how to hook them up. I don't know if I'm going to use connectors or just hardwire them in, because once they're in, don't really need to take them out. But if I do, it would be nice to have some disconnects in order to be able to do so. So kind of trying to figure out what would be the best way for that. But while I think of that, if anybody has any suggestions, do holler at me. And this one is... This is the 110 volt one, which I bought for... If you did use a heated bed, you have an extra switch on there just to do that. That was why that was in that original BOM. All the rest of these, I believe, are 12 volts in this baggie. But I'm going to use the black power button for the black power button with the blue power button. That's going to be my LEDs tonight. I think that'll look good. So lots to figure out on that. See how it's going to end up working. But what I end up doing is, oh hey, Keith, Jake, a bunch of people came in. Zeddy, that's my dad. Coming to hang out for a bit. So the one thing, I guess, just get them hooked up, and then once I get the bench power supply on, I can then figure out what my amperage draw is going to be once I hook them all together. And I could just use some quick jumpers to hook them all together and see how that goes. I just kind of have to try and figure it out what's going to end up working the best. And getting these on and off is also not going to be all that fun. Wondering if I should go down a few LEDs. They're just so long. Maybe I could do that. Because these are bright. I mean, these are hecka bright. I think if I take off some of the LEDs, they'll still be really bright. But it will give me a little more flexibility in these because you're not... I think I'm going to end up doing that. Take some of these LEDs. Yeah, my only problem is being able to get to the way these are made. So if I can show this. So here's the mount in there, the screw. Well, these LEDs currently covering up the hole that you need to put the screwdriver in order to be able to get to the bolt. I could technically, I guess, try and use Allen wrenches because, I mean, how often do I need to take these off? I mean, as long as they're working, I really shouldn't ever have to. Is that this one right here, I think? To be able to get to these here. Yeah, I mean, that'll work. It's just not going to be very easy to get on and off, though. It doesn't even come off that way. Here's with a ball head, I can kind of do that. Yeah, I guess I'll keep it the way they are. I've already kind of modified them to be able to work this way. So, well, the hot glue gun is not heating up yet. So let's get that battery charging up a bit right now. Now we'll hot glue these once we finish getting everything soldered on. So by bringing us way down here. And kind of work on this a little bit. Get my wires, snips and everything I need. I made lots of mistakes trying to figure these out today. I tried trimming down a few of the LED strips, so like making them just thinner. That didn't work at all because I ended up clipping, I guess, some of the traces, so only some of the LEDs were working. So I just have to shove them in there and let it hopefully work. Yeah, so this one I need to do that's the negative, so positive. I'm using like a negative piece here. I'm keeping my colors are not obviously standard colors of black and red, positive, negative, but I'm being consistent throughout the LEDs, and then my main leads coming off are gonna be black and red, just so I don't get confused in the future when I actually go to install these. I'm not like, oh, which one's positive, which one's negative, because I've done that before, And if you ever modified a 3D printer from a company, they probably aren't using black and red. And that really can be confusing when you get down to the end of a wire loom. You just don't know what's what. That can end up being quite the pain. So all I'm doing for these is a very small. Again, there's a million ways to wire LEDs. I'm just doing this way just because it's simple for me. But I'm end up going the two opposite ways to go around an LED. And that is just, again, I want to keep my wires as low profile as possible. I don't want them going on top of an LED. But these diffusers that go on top are really, really close. So I don't really have a lot of space to do anything different. So this is how it ends up going down for me. Once I get one side tacked on, I can then, well, I need to push these back in. They came out. And make sure that my wire lengths are correct. And also the goal is to have this be a forever installation. I don't want to ever have to mess with these LEDs again. So another reason why I'm doing it this way. So I'm going to, there is good. Now we're just going to snip just beyond it. And do that. Now we can tin this one. Well, I want it to be. Again, try to keep your finger away from it and just tack it down. There's my other wire on there. So it's out of the way. It won't be in the way of the diffuser, anything like that. And I'm constantly trying to think of, okay, how are these going to hook up once I get them on the printer? How are these going to connect to each other? Because that's kind of the thing, is trying to figure out your wiring, the way you're going to wire these. Because if these are going to wire like this in series with each other, I need to ensure that I have open terminals near each other in order to put on the pigtails. And I guess I will go ahead and just use some DuPonts. I have enough 2-pin ones, I think, or I can use 3 pins just because I have more of those. And just leave the center one empty. But that'll just give me some space, because they're going to be about that far apart. And I can put those pigtails into the V slot on the printer in order to keep it out of the way. So that one still needs to be glued down. Battery is almost ready. And okay, so now that we have that connected there, this is going to be a back one, like I said. So if it's in the back, power is going to be coming in here and potentially out there. How did I do this one? So I'm going to go ahead and hold it that way. All right, so I'm going to connect these two together, leaving the center one to be connected in, and then we'll have the wire back up top on the way out. I think that'll be the cleanest path to get the wire out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm very much OCD about this stuff, so I want to be as near perfect as I can. So we're going to connect them right there. But I have got to glue these down because they are doing nothing but popping up on me, and that's getting really annoying. So battery. Let's get the Ryobi glue gun going. I love that thing. We need to get those glued up. And then I have one more mount somewhere. 1, 2, 3. And where'd the fourth one go? That is an excellent question. Oh, here it is. I already finished this one. This is the other front one. Just needs to be tacked down. Yeah, I just need to tack this one down. So this is the other front one ready to go. So yeah, we just need to glue these three, and then I can finish soldering this one. Then we can get the pigtails. And to do that, here's my DuPont kit. And yeah, I have quite a few 3-pins, so I guess we're just going to use those up since I have them. And that'll be okay. We need to get more of these soon because I am almost out of female pin headers. Lots of males left, but there's only one strand of females left, so I need to order either another kit, probably another kit because my singles are gone and doubles are really close. And I use doubles more than anything on printers because most connections are 2 pins, especially fans. I do a lot of custom fan connections, so I end up using those up the most. There you go. I have burned the bejesus out of my hand with this thing before, so if you guys buy one, like, just be careful. It gets really freaking hot. Bad burn, too. It's here, wasn't it? Oh, it's this hand right here. Still marked. Did that like 6 months ago. This ends up working out. I have been testing, once I get each one wired up before I glue them on, I have been testing each one with the bench power supply just to verify that it still works after I wired it and crushed it into place and got it where I want it. And so far, it's been successful, but man, my thumbnail is now killing me from trying to get these squared away. Not there yet. Come on. Probably going to need to run downstairs and get some more wire to be able to wire um, the power switch here. Look that up. Let's see. Yeah, I never remember how to hook these up. Here we go. So C1, no one, C1. Yeah, that's all right on there. Only illuminate one on. Okay, I see how that goes. That shouldn't be too bad. All right, we're getting hot now. Getting hot. Oh, these a dabble, do ya? Of course, hot glue is super stringy. So yeah, there's that one done. So that's 2 down. And then this one is fully wired, but not sticking at all. So we need to get this back into place. Get down in there. Wish I had an air can to be able to accelerate this, cooling it down faster. Sometimes that degrades the glue, but this stuff is just tapping into place. And this stuff is high heat. I'm using Gorilla Glue, Gorilla hot glue, and it does really good against heat. So even these LEDs will put off a little bit of heat. It will not be enough to soften up the hot glue here. Done. And this one, I need to just tack it into place just so I can actually be able to work on it. My mom is quite the crafter, so of course she would want a giant glue gun. For those of you that don't know a whole lot about me, my parents like to come and join the stream. I don't live home. I live quite far away overseas, and they kind of use it as an extra time just be able to see what I'm doing, which is quite nice. Jake, if I still lived in my parents' basement with 5 kids, that would be pretty impressive. That'd be a pretty big basement. Basically like a football field in the basement. These ones are not wanting to just stay in there. What do you need? 1 second. Come here. Ah, hot. Hurt myself so many times this weekend. Past week, I should say. My wife keep yelling at me about it. Oh, these glue sticks are huge. They're like, what are they? 12 inches? 16 inches? Yeah, I mean they're huge. 26, 8 inches each. They're big old glue sticks. They last a while, but you also do go through quite a bit sometimes, depending on the project you're working on. Sometimes you just need a little more glue to hold something down. This one's definitely not as pretty, but all it needs to do is make light. Doesn't need to be that pretty. I'm gonna put some right in the middle there. And turn that off a little bit so we can save the battery. Might need some more here later. Okay, so that's all of those, and this is the one I still need to wire. So again, if this is going to be a back one, we're going to loop these back to right here. Getting our positive. Touch this one up. Bar 2, right? Sounds good. I'm trying to keep these as low profile as possible and as short as humanly possible, because I don't want a bunch of extra wire hanging out of these strips, out of these enclosures, LED holders, whatever you want to call them. Done. Do negative. Purple for negative. Also, my black, for some reason, on these spools are solid core, which makes it a little difficult to work on certain things with solid core versus stranded. Tin that a little bit. Okay, and then give a little bend up. Whoop, don't take that far, Shane. Still a little bit hot. Yep. Hold that down for a second. And that one will be done. So this is going to have a buttload of lighting. It really is. I don't know if I really wanted that or expected that, but it's going to have it. Come on. This thing also, the glue is so hot coming out of it, it takes forever to cool down. There we go. That'll do. Oh man, yeah, so it's going to be interesting to try and get all this wiring in here cleanly as possible because, again, I'm a little OCD about it. But I think we'll be able to figure out a good route for it. All right. Now we have 4 light panels all wired up individually, like so. And again, so this is a front. So we're going to go front with you, and you are a you're back because you go in that way. What I have you as a front, so I can take the power off the bottom here and go back. Or I wired that one backwards, maybe. Be fronts, and then you guys can be backs. So some power will come in on those. Yeah, we'll make that work out. Alrighty then. So we need to get, I'm going to run and grab some, I have some other wire leads. I'm going to go grab those real quick. I'll be right back. Here's my bin of wire spools. This is all small gauge stuff for small electronics projects. Let's get on here. So when I used to do custom computers, I would make my own wire harnesses and whatnot. So I'll definitely use a black. What's that? That's going to be 22 gauge. And some 18 gauge black here. Even a couple amps. Should be okay. And then this is all 16 and 18 and that stuff there. This orange is also 16. I might end up using the 16 for the main. Once I combine them all together, I think I'll switch to the 18. Come on. Oh, this is all over the place down in. Come on. Yeah, so I think I'll use the 18 for the main. Once I have these all interconnections done, I'll go to a bigger gauge wire just because it'll be carrying a little more amperage than the individual links between them. I think that'll be better. I don't have any other red other than what I have on the spool there, and that is definitely not enough. Red here. Yeah, I have red 18. Is this 16 or 18? This one doesn't say actually. 18 gauge red, 18 gauge black. Okay, we'll use these for the main lines going to the switch and to the power supply. I think that'll be good for that. Yeah, I actually forgot I had a lot of them. I've got the green and yellow wire there ready to go. I do have some segments of black. That's okay. We'll use some of these other colors for the interconnections. That won't be a problem. Okay. I'm pretty sure that the 18 can carry at least a few amps without much of a problem. All right, so I need to just make some pigtails then. So I think for the, I'm just going to continue with the orange and purple on the interconnecting links for a little bit. I think that'll be okay. And we don't need a ton. I don't want these like, I want them to be able to come apart, but I also want them to be manageable in size. I don't want to have giant lengths of cable everywhere. The other thing is I could take it up and put it into that track and run all the cable back that way as well. Just kind of put it into the V slot up in here, because that would be fairly easy to hide away. And take them all to the back and take them all to a terminal block. Because I do have, I did get some terminal blocks in. 2, 4. And these would be enough to get them all together. Should be able to handle that small amount of amperage. There it is. You have to put them all the way up. I've actually never used these before. Seen them. Wanted to use them for some of my builds. This just might be one of those times where I use them. So again, there's these little terminal blocks. You know, we're only talking a few amps here, so this should do the trick. So I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'm going to go ahead and install these then so I can get my lengths all correct. And we'll bring them all to somewhere right here in the back top section and kind of go from there. But let me see if I can get these installed with general ease. So the series is going to be the front one for right here. And back. Having ball head screwdrivers definitely does help with these, but you don't want to strip things. That's where things get dicey. Which I definitely can just take those into there a little bit and keep all that hidden away. Once I get these all mounted, I'll spin the printer more, and you guys can actually see in there how they are. Probably won't be able to see this way much, but they mount right under here, and they're just under the carriage. Like the guy made these, they're just in line to be able to work here. They're really good design. I just, again, not quite perfect for my setup, which kind of sucks, but that's how it is. It's okay. I should say it just doesn't work perfectly with the LEDs that I have. And I do not want to buy more LEDs. I'm trying to use them up on projects right now. I'm supposed to be the front door. About there. There we go. Here. Okay. There's the front two. Installing it, you can see the lip of it right there. So the wire will end up coming right here into the groove. And then I have some hold down clips left over from the Hypercube. Yep, I still have them. They're gray, but you're really not going to see them once the panels are on. But so these clips just go into the slot and hold your wire down. So it should work on these as well, which they do. Perfect. So that's what we're going to do. Not too shabby. And then that technically puts them all into parallel. Instead of 2 series, I'll have 4 parallels, or I'll have 2 parallel circuits then instead of 1 series circuit. No, 4 parallels instead of 2 series. Yeah. So I'll have to calculate the voltage drop on those. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be across all of them. It's one thing I guess a lot of people don't realize whenever you do LEDs, there actually is a fair bit of math involved in calculating them. It's not just like, oh, I'll just slap some LEDs on my printer, call it a day. Doesn't really work out that way. Totally rhymed. I didn't mean it to. Okay, 2 of them installed. Let's get this third one installed, and then we can run our wiring through them. I will probably turn the printer for that, just because it would be so much easier for me to work on with the front facing me. Oh, with the side facing me and the back to the back of the table here. All right, where are we installing these at? Go back a little bit. Okay. Okay, there's one down. Definitely stresses out my finger dexterity. Oh, man. All right, that is a lot of LEDs ready to go. Oh, it's just pry bar. Pretty much. Okay, so let's see if I can spin this without knocking everything off my table. That would be super duper cool. Oh, nope, yep, I missed the table there. Okay. I only lost one thing. It's the spool of wire. It's plastic. It doesn't care. Okay. The other thing you guys can see is I did the bed during the week. So I cut the new extrusion. You can see it's silver. I didn't have any more black, but I mean, it's what I had. And I'm not going to wait to like buy more extrusion just to be able to do that. But that's where we're at right now with that. That's okay. And so I had to make these longer. I ended up making them a little bit too long. I had to cut off 3 millimeters in order to get these to seat just right. I wanted to use the injection molded adjustment knobs, but it doesn't really matter because I have these on aluminum standoffs right now. So the bolt goes through the aluminum standoff into the printed part, and then you have the cranks, the knobs on there, just to bring tension. Like it's just to keep the bed sturdy. I mean, it rocks a little bit that way, but that is not going to have any. The bed only goes up and down, doesn't go back and forth. So this twisting is never going to happen. But other than that, I mean, it is rock solid. A little bit of movement there. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it is so far. Tight there. Yeah, those are tight. Yeah, that's just a flex of the printed part and through the eccentric nut. I could change out the eccentric nut for an anti-backlash. Sorry, for that. But I kind of want to redesign these parts in order to use the Dryland milled ones, just because they don't require any lubrication, and the throat on those is a good, I want to say 1.5 inches, I'd say, where these are only like 1/2 inch. So you have more surface area against the lead screw, which leads to more accuracy and less things moving. Andre, what's up? Welcome to stream. So there's that. Oh. Well, that's interesting. That's definitely a turn of events for me. I just realized that the bed is too big. I haven't looked at the printer from this angle. But if you guys look here, you're not gonna be able to see it either. But the bed is over top of the front enclosure. That is definitely no good. Now it can be fixed by just sliding the bed back a little bit. I can slide all of the Z back a smidge. I'm not gonna get the full build volume though, but I could if I do a different front panel here, or figure out how to pop the front panel out instead of it being into the printer, bring it out a little bit. that is definitely an issue for another day. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to worry about getting these wired up. So we're going to keep with the purple and orange right now. Get these soldered on to the first wire, and then we'll get them run. I guess we'll start with over here first. That makes the most sense. Get these tinned. Here, which is positive on top. A little bit of glue there, apparently. We'll get that in a minute. At least I can get the negative on. What's going on here? Just a little bit of glue there. That got me a little bit. Man, I'm the worst at burning myself. All right, so now how long do these need to be? So you can bring these up into here, like that. And where's those clips at? Oh, come on. There we go. And then, where the wire? There it is. Here. We will duck it down. Go to like there. That should be all right. Right about there. Just put a couple more clips in here. Stop right there because I'll put on, once I bring the other cable up and in to that space, I can do that then. Put one more there to hold on to those. So one would just be over there. That wasn't so bad. Bring these back. Strip and tin these. Get it connected to the other strip there. Should be good to go. We're going here with this one. Same spot. Whoop. And this is tricky to get to, isn't it? get it from down there or not. There we go. One, and I dropped it. And positive's on. All right. Now we can grab the wires, bring them up here. Join this screw. Put in our clips. What did I do with the screwdriver? Put it over there. One more in, just cable strain relief, basically. Oh, come on. Come, there we go. Okay, there's that one. Now we just need to make them equal length. All right, that's one side done. Wasn't too bad. I burnt myself once on there. Oh. Everybody's quiet tonight. What's up with that? If anybody has any questions on this build, I am happy to answer them. I know there's actually been quite a few people that have joined the Discord and have been watching the channel because they are also building this printer, which is super cool. I've got a lot of insight from those folks as well. Some of them are further along than I am. Some of them are further behind than I am. I'm also determined not to make this a insanely long project. Yeah, it's going to take, it is taking a couple months. But that's just kind of the nature of doing a big build like this. And just with how long it's taken to get a lot of things, it took me, what, 2.5 months just to get the bed. So that was no bueno. Really got to figure out what to do with that. It's a bugger. Excuse me. Okay, let's get this other side on. I'm twist my cable a little bit here. So, oh, those aren't tinned. Shoot. I thought I tinned all those terminals on the LEDs. I did not. Can't do it that way. Gotta go lefty. I don't know why I thought this would be easier to do this way, but here I am. There we go. I'll probably end up coming back and just put a spot of hot glue on top of each of these terminal points. We got Germany, Australia. Holy heck, we got people from all over the world here. Very nice. flip here. That works. Put in, what did I put another one? I think 2 more here. Just kind of hold the wires in place. That's not good. Oh. Come on. These things are super tight. So it's that. Let's get this pulled down to length. Here. Do that. Okay, there's those ones. We got one more LED left to do. One more one to do, I guess. Yeah, I reprint those other parts, and I'll probably work on that this week, getting those reprinted and getting the front LEDs installed. Yeah, this one is just difficult because of where it's at. Again, those are not tinned. Shoot. Aaron is working on the Voron build. That was a huge contender for me when I was originally planning to do this build. See that actually. Get a flashlight in here so I can't see the terminals from that far away. It makes LEDs so small. High, low. Okay. I got one. Oh, the other one's got some glue on it. That's why. It's on there now. Mm-hmm. 10 now? Yep. All right. So positive is on top. I think it's on there, right? Guess we'll find out once we power this sucker up. That looks okay. All right, so let's pull some slack. This down here. Oh, I gotta pull it up here first. Okay. One and the other. Get some clips. Let me turn this light off. No, it's just my eye. Stupid thing. Okay. Okay, there's one. So we'll do one more. Okay. And we'll get some cutters. This to length. Okay. So there's that part. Little wire out of there now. Okay, yes, I have seen that. That would be a complete rebuild for me. And right now the metal parts are in beta, so I'm not really willing to spend the $110 on them because they are beta. But there was somebody, I believe he's in the Discord now, that has said that he is going to be making the metal parts for it, and he was going to hook me up with some. So that will be a next year project. That's not going to be a this year thing. I have far too many other things in the pipeline to rebuild this. Once I move next year, though, I definitely could see myself going ahead and doing a full metal rebuild on this one. Okay, so there's all of those. Terminal block. Now I'm going to show you guys. I'm not going to flip this printer around again because it is brutal and super heavy. We're going to do positives first. I like these things. Not too shabby. What we'll probably end up doing is I'll also end up mounting this somehow on the back here. With, you know, a smidge of hot glue on there, and be able to hold those in place. I need to get one more now for the negative side, and then we'll work on the work on the DC to DC step down converter to get our 12 volts that we need. Again, this should not exceed the power limit of the DC to DC converter. Rated for 3 amps. We're going to be pushing about 2 amps through it. Give or take a little bit. Untangle these wires here together. Okay, let's get out I need to wire some leads onto that. So again, we're going to use this thicker red and black here for this part. I'm not going to put any terminals on it yet. I'm going to wait to do that until I know everything works as it should. And then once I know that, then it'll be a easy decision to put terminals on it. Move this stuff back here. Oh. Phillips here. Let's put these on to terminals that I have. Okay. So there's those connected to the power supply. So got 24 volts coming out of there. Now let's snip these. I guess we can just do it right over to here for now. I'll make them long just so that we have space. I need to adjust the voltage on this first. So where did it go? It's me losing stuff again. There it is. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to attach my input leads, positive and negative to it. Okay, and you get a little LED on there. That side right there, that shows power is coming into it. Okay, so now I'm going to get my voltage meter. I wonder if I can hold it in this so you guys might be able to see what I'm doing here. Let's experiment. Yeah, you can see that. All right. So you see I have my power coming into it, and I've got my meter here. I just need to take a small flathead. I'm going to negative and positive. Hold those on. Right now it's set to 12 volts out. I need to change it up to 24 volts. That's what's going to be going into it. So we're at 24 volts, and we're at 23.69 coming out. Just lose that. Sorry about that. I unplugged the cable a little bit. Anyways, yeah, so I've got the out reading 23. So we're going to go lefty-loosey to take it down to 12 volts. $13. Oh, a little too far. $12.02. I call that close enough. So now that's set. Turn the power supply. Unhook this. Now I can attach from the power supply to the in, and then from here we'll go out to the clamp downs to have it all hooked up. A lot. I really don't have a minute to read all that right now. Okay, so we need to solder that on there. Soldering iron, which of course everything's on it. I can't move it. Oh, I turned it off. Turn back on. I need you warmed up. We just need a bit of solder right there. Okay. Ouch. Right. 40. It's got pretty cold. All right. We have to give that a minute to warm back up. And yeah, I want to just get this this part done for tonight. And I'll probably call it a night at that, because this has been quite the ordeal getting all this wiring done and everything like that. See you later, Wolfgang. Whoa, I hit the thing. There we go. John's talking about using a piece of MDF for heated bed. I would never put a heated surface on a piece of wood. Also, you have no guarantee that MDF will, number one, be flat or remain flat. So yeah, this is a custom-made aluminum bed, and then it's a custom-made silicone heater on there with a custom-made peel sheet. But again, all of it really just sucks right now because this stuff is in the way. It's not like that much either. Like I could shave off a hair of that. That would be pretty easy to do. Or move the bed back just a little bit. Because right now I reach the entire build surface. Maybe we can do this. No, it's being difficult. Okay, fine. Let me just verify this real quick. Do. Come on. That pressure now. Going down. It's super easy to pull this thing down. There we go. Yeah, so right now, all the way forward, I am just at the tip of the bed. Just over that. Now all the way to the back, I am off the bed. So I could move Z back just a little bit. I mean, we're talking half an inch is all I need. And I would still have full coverage of the bed. But yeah, I'm definitely going to need to move it back just a little bit in order to clear this front. That'll be the easiest thing to do. But that is definitely another time because that'll take me quite a while. And I'm not going to do that live either way. All right, let me get this, get these ends primed and ready to go here. Solder on the ground. Okay. And then the buck, so we've got in is there. Just gonna pre-tip that. Negative goes on here. Positive goes after I untangle it. Right here. Okay. Now I just need to cut another length of each of these. Just give it some change. And then I need to strip these, which strippers are somewhere else. That's fine. And these, so these are going to be for the, again, I'm sorry you can't see this, but this is going to be for the output to the LEDs. I'm just using a higher gauge wire. So this is carrying the full amperage. Needs to be 10. There we go. And then we've got our positive output here. Cleanest looking one, but that'll still work. Negative. Okay. Now we need to do is just strip down these ends. A little twisty. Positives with orange. Negative is purple here. Okay. So as soon as I turn this on, this is just a test. As soon as I turn this on, it should power the LEDs. Let's see if that at least works. Most of them. There's one that's not working, which is either not that one. Could be just not terminated in there right. Put it in too far. Let's try the negative side of it. That one. That one is still good. This one here. Come on. Must be a bad solder joint on one of those there then. But that's not too bad though. I can live with 3 out of 4 off the bat. Bed down. Where are we? That positive there because I have a little bit of glue on there. What's going on here? Reading. What's up? Yeah, I'm just gonna say for the record, I would never recommend building a printer, especially heated bed in wood. I'm gonna leave it at that. The carriage you could do, but using actual bed and attaching a heated surface to that is just a bad idea. People have done it with the carriage. Obviously, people like Tom have done it, but yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. We're not gonna do any unsafe practices here, and we're definitely not gonna recommend any unsafe practices. If you want to use wood in your printer, by all means, do it. If you feel safe and knowledgeable enough to do so. But wood will never be as solid as a 6mm piece of machined aluminum. So, and it'll never be as flat as that will ever be. Let's reattach negative here. I may have to pull that off to get to that positive. It's just not properly attached there. Let's see if that doesn't work, then I clearly screwed up the wiring on the unit, on the piece itself. And I'll need to go back and redo that. Nope, there we go. We are now 4 for 4. Easy day. Yeah, it was that positive. There's a little too much glue, hot glue, where I put that on there. So, man, that is quite illuminative. So I can go ahead and take my covers here, put these on. This will greatly bring down how bright these suckers are. Again, I still might see if we can get some parchment paper and throw it in these just to soften the light a little bit more even, but still pretty even. This way here, that. I mean, also, this is not overkill lighting. What is, but like, you're gonna have, it's a little overexposed. Oh, you're on the wrong camera. That's why you guys seen it that way. Come here. There we go. Now you can see that better. So having a part or something there is getting illuminated very nicely. So I think that's going to work out really well. I'm going to add on those front ones right here facing in. And here's the failed one. They will mount either on the outside or on the inside maybe. But this will give me a 45-degree in from both angles here in the front, full illuminating the front. So I could set up a camera right here and have really nice coverage of whatever I'm printing, get some nice time lapses out of it. I might end up doing these on 2 different powers though, 2 different switches. That might end up working out a little bit better in the long run, just because of, I mean, I don't need them on unless I'm doing a time lapse. If I want to check my printer, like, bloop, bloop, turn on the light, bloop, bloop, turn it back off. Easy day. I like it. And buck is a little warm, but that's kind of to be expected of it. The wiring's not. That's what really counts. But the buck is going to be warmer. They all do get warm. Even this other one here is a little warm. But I'll also have a cooling solution back here for lots of fans. Make sure all of these parts that I'm using do stay nice and cool. I don't have to worry about that. It is a little bright, isn't it? Dim it down even more. It'll definitely turn out well. And also, once I get the side panels on here, this will all be blacked out. You're not going to see all the electronics in the back here. I need to sneeze. Just got that mute button fast enough. But yeah, once I have the side panels on here, there's also going to be a little bit of noise dampening in these 2 side panels here as well that cut down on noise. They're going to be all black. This will be all black as well. So you'll just have that one part nice in there. It's definitely going to be premium looking. I can say that right now. It's definitely going to be premium looking. I'm pretty excited for that. Might need to do some zip ties on these parts over here, the wires. But other than that, the wires are away, which is good. I wanted those to be out of sight, out of mind, really. I still really need to figure out how in the world I'm going to situate my electronics. But I need to do some testing, and just to make sure that this power supply can still run the bed, the hot end, everything heating up along with LEDs on. If it can't, then we'll definitely whip out I have a small 12 volt power supply that I can put in here just to run LEDs and maybe the fans that are in here. I think that'll work out better because I do have some fans in the back to constantly cool the back enclosure for electronics, also where my filament holder is right here as well. So definitely have some more to do on that, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. That's good. I have one. I might test the bed tonight because I was told to wait a couple days after applying it to there. It's been a few days now. It has not come off at all. So I think I'm going to do some test heats on that just to see how that does and go from there. I do want this to look a little more professional. I don't want this to look very hodgepodge. Again, this is not also trying to be the most expensive machine in the world, but I want to build it properly in the way that I want it to look. And I like the way it looks so far. I think it's coming along very well. I also still need to do my remixes. So I remixed these bottoms because I didn't like the honeycomb. It was a little hard to print. So I do need to upload my remix of these parts here. I need to reprint that. I need to upload the screen mount as well. I need to upload my remixes of these these Y tensioners as well. I remixed those. I need to upload that as well. This was the power thing I was talking about the other day. You guys can see that here. Hang on. We go here. There it is right there. So once everything is enclosed, this is the only channel that you can get from the top of the printer down into the electronics, is just through this right here. And this is where the cable chain goes down into, or all the cables go into the electronics box. So everything else is kind of sealed up. There's mesh parts, prints right here. As I'm pushing down on them, can't see them. But these also keep anything from going down into where the electronics are, all of your live wire, high voltage and low voltage. 110 is high voltage, 24 volt is low voltage, but definitely we'll be able to keep all of that, anything getting in there. Also, there's a set of grills in the design that also go on the bottom for down in here. You can see where my hand is. I can go all the way down out of the printer. There's another few grills that go down there also to keep, again, things from going up into the electronics section. So haven't printed that stuff yet. That's really not the priority yet. I've only have 3 of the 4 of these grills printed. I still need to turn my motors just to get them the way I want them to be. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with how this is going. I want to do a few more things to it before I start actually doing any of the testing and tweaking. Obviously, I need to do some PID tuning with the bed, and I need to just run my ABL just to make sure everything looks okay and go from there. But definitely have some test prints coming up very soon. So move the bed. Yeah, I'm going to make some notes tonight once I get off of here on what I need to do for the rest of the week. Or I guess through the weekend. Today is Friday, so tomorrow, hopefully, I could probably tune in again here and show what updates I get done tomorrow. Not sure how much I'll get done, but I at least want to get the bed moved back so that I can stream tomorrow and show you guys where I'm at on that. Maybe do the switch wiring. Shouldn't be too bad to do on a live stream, but we'll at least get one of the push button switches wired for these LEDs. And that way I can easily turn them on and off. So I would call this a successful night. It's been, almost 2 hours now to do a bit of wiring on some LEDs. I did a lot of prep work today. Again, getting all these wires, figuring out how to actually get these mounts to work for me. But I definitely will upload a make and put a note in there to figure out how wide your LEDs are. Mine don't want to fit in there very well, but a little bit of persuasion and hot glue go quite a long way when you're working on this stuff. My screwdriver's away. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in. Again, fun stream. If you guys have any questions about what I'm doing with this or anything what I did on this video, go ahead and leave it down below. I'll put links for the LEDs in there as well. And I still need to update the last video with the bed and things like that. That's what I did in part 7. So part 8 was just getting these LEDs done. And tomorrow night will just be kind of an extension of this as I hang out for an hour or two and get the button finished up and go from there. So, oh, it was Aaron. That's pretty cool. Maelstrom. So I usually do my Saturday night streams are at 8:30 or 7:30 Eastern time. It's 8:30 my time. So 7:30 Eastern time on Saturday nights is my Saturday night 3D printing hangout, where I either just talk, do Q&As, I work on a printer, I rebuild printers, or just doing random things. I'll do a little more button work on this. And then Mondays and Friday streams are usually at 8 p.m. Eastern time for and those will go longer. Saturday night, I don't always go that long unless I plan for it, but usually these nights sometimes can go longer. I'm just a bit burnt out from today. It's been quite a long day with the kids and everything, so I think that's good enough for today. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining in. I hope you're enjoying this build, this stream. I hope to have it done maybe by like part 10 or 12, I think. There's a few other incremental things I still need to do, electronics, things like that. But I'm having fun doing this live stream, interacting with everybody. So it's been truly awesome to do that. Thank you again for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Wash your hands. Happy printing. See you guys tomorrow night.